division. It's up at the top of this division. We have Lucidus16 versus Meldon. The winner of this match will be going on to face the winner of either Terra 21 or Snowflame. That match is expected to go to Terra. He's the number 10 seed versus Snowflame's 23. So presumably the winner of this will be playing Terra, but you never know. We've had crazier upsets so far. And then further down in that division, so far in the round of 32, both of the other matches in this division have been played. Vuligen took his match over Odeon, and Hydra took his match over Jella. So looking way down the line, once it's starting to get to the top 8, the winner between Vuligen and Hydra will have to weigh the winner of the match we're about to watch, and then presumably Terra, but could be Snowflame as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And the bottom, in the bottom part, I think the closest match that we may have expected was going to be Vuligen Odeon, especially on how Vuligen was feeling, within the last week or so. But that ended up being pretty heavily in the favor of Vuligen. So going to the top half of the bracket now, both of the higher seeds are pegged to be heavy favorites. However, we have seen from some of the other matches in the group stage, for instance, Hobbs almost lost in a race to the eventual 3rd seed. Raziel ended up getting upset by Brynhold, who ended up eventually being the number 2 seed in that case. So, anything can really happen. You never know what's going to happen because there are big time losses if you die in certain sections of the run. And as we kind of to segue into this, Ruz, why don't you help start out and talk about some of the facts about the previous group stage races from Lucy and Meldon?
Yeah, absolutely. So interestingly enough, like you said, we have actually seen these two race against each other before. They weren't set up to be racing again together intentionally. That's just kind of how the seeds worked out. But this will not be their first time playing each other. You can see between their PBs, there's a pretty good bit of difference there. Lucidus has an absolutely phenomenal 32.47. Whereas Meldon has a still respectable 37.51. 37 is not bad, but it's, the difference between a 32 and a 37 is definitely notable. So when you get into this kind of 5-minute difference between them, it's looking like to win this, Meldon probably needs to get a personal best in this run to be able to pull out a victory. Now, that's not unheard of, though. We've had an absolutely ridiculous number of PBs out of runners in this tournament. And I believe Meldon has himself actually done one already. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. He has done a PB. I believe it was in his 2nd race of the tournament. Might have been his 3rd one of the two. And also Lucy, not in the tournament, but in the general vicinity of the tournament, when she was doing a thing at the GDQ hotfix, actually got a PB herself there during that, which was insane as well. So it's incredible in these high pressure environments how many PBs we've actually had, which I was not expecting when this tournament was starting.
Yeah, and so it's kind of for some background on these two. You can see Lucy, she is top 5 for this run, so extremely skilled. She also runs interesting games, Super Mario Brothers 2, way back on the NES, and she tends to favor the only princess % run and has 2nd place in that category, I believe. So, definitely a multi-talented runner. And then Meldon over there, he's actually pretty new. He started running after this most recent GDQ, and I guess presumably he saw Sigma's Oreo run there and probably picked it up from that. But his tournament goal, as he stated, is sub 40. He's definitely blown way past that. I mean, he's more than 2 minutes past it. So goal absolutely accomplished.
Yeah, and the race has actually just started on the SRL side. We'll get the sync up really quickly, as you can see, and we are going to be good to go right here. So really excited. Again, as always, at the start of the run, all the runners are going to be doing are holding left and jumping, because that's all we have at this point in the game. And neither of them do the color code. Man, I'm disappointed. I was expecting more of these guys.
Yeah, so color code can be a lot of fun, but there is a little bit of strategy involved in it, in terms of if you get kind of a dark bluish color, you can get into big trouble because the backgrounds here are all this sort of purpley dark blue, and it can get a little bit hard to see. So I mean, if a racer chooses not to do it, that's all right, but having a little bit of fun never hurts either.
Yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
So as far as the early game, you're going to see both of these runners pretty much do most of the same thing. The only divergence we might see is in her PB attempts, Lucy does go for only 3 health. She doesn't go pick up the extra early health cell. Now, talking to her, she has said that she's going to go for the 4th, so I don't expect her to. But, I mean, sometimes, last minute runner might suddenly change their mind. She might decide she wants those few extra seconds. I don't anticipate seeing that, but it is a possibility.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we had Elo Jiminy in one of the top 8 runners, or top 9 runners, excuse me, from the group stage. Actually, he had been doing 4 for a while, and then he had started doing 3 health like the day before one of his races, and we didn't think that he was going to actually switch, but he actually switched for that race and went the 3 health route, which was insane, considering he hadn't had that much practice with it, like completed runs. So maybe we'll see a surprise from Lucy here, but I doubt it. She seemed like she was a little bit nervous, so I'm sure she'll want the 4 health and a little extra security going forward.
Yeah, we can see just a few minor little advantages for Lucy starting to creep in here. They both had about the same amount of trouble getting up that first bounce pad. Part of what makes that so difficult is that all of these little pickups like experience and health, the first time you get one, Ori drops into this sort of look at this thing that I found for you animation. It's actually kind of annoying because it slows you down for about a second. And we try to use some tricks to avoid them, but if you manage to pick one up on that bounce pad, it can kind of slow your movement down there. They both had about the same amount of trouble with it.
Hope as Meldon has a little bit of trouble with the Frankie over here. But I was like thinking, when you were talking about how the pickup animation, I was like, hey, Mom, Dad, look what I found on my treasure hunts, you know? Like, it's like, no, it's poisonous. Don't do it.
It's definitely not something you want to see. It's like when your cat brings some trash home for you or something. It's like, okay, I know you were happy for this, but get it away, please.
Yeah, really. So Lucy definitely has gotten a bit of a lead already. I would say probably about 7-8 seconds. So she's going to have a bit of an advantage here, and she's had a pretty clean wall jump split so far. It's probably going to be about a 26 right now at this point. So Meldon's going to be more in the 3:30 range on his pace. And I believe both of them are doing on their way down. Oh, goodness gracious. I thought Meldon was going to die right there. Yeah, I actually didn't realize that running into that slime, instead of getting hit by the explosion, actually only does 1 damage. As I think what I saw, if I saw correctly.
I've never actually seen anybody run into it instead of get hit by the explosion before. That's interesting. Yeah. 12-second difference according to the guys in the truck. This isn't really unexpected. Lucy is absolutely a monster of the early game. If Meldon has a path to victory, I think the way it's going to play out is going to be Lucy taking an early lead because she is so strong early. But when she does struggle, it tends to be around when Valley of the Wind shows up later on, sort of at the entrance into the late game. So if she has some struggles there and Meldon can get a clean mid and late game, that's what he's looking for to be able to pull out a win here.
Yeah, definitely. I know Lucy has told me numerous times you can never sleep on the Keeper of Fastopolis, which is one of the birds as you're getting to the latter part of the Valley of the Wind kind of entrance to go get Feather, that you have to use to stomp and get an ability cell. And boy, has that bird killed some runs.
You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Trojan?
No, not at all. It's not like I completely stomped through him in a tournament race and died because of it or anything.
Oh, like okay, good. I'm glad to hear there's no painful memories being brought up there right now.
No, not at all.
Excellent.
Honestly, I'm surprised you brought that up before the wall jump stuff.
Well, unlike yourself, these runners get through wall jumps so fast I didn't have time to bring up the jokes.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, so all joking aside, Lucidus is now into Blackroot and Meldon is on his way in as well. So this is definitely a high danger point for the run. The movement options that you have here they're very limited, and the spikes are extremely lethal. So nobody's safe. Lucy's not safe just because she's a top 5 runner. She could easily fall into these spikes and suddenly be back in second place again.
Oh no, Meldon leveled up. Oh no, wait. Okay, no, it's fine. Why is he watching? Did he do it too early? Because I was like, wait a second. Did he accidentally rekindle?
It looked to me like he leveled too early, meaning that he's stuck watching the cutscene. Did he get Did he get magnet?
He did. He got magnet. That's what concerned me at the moment, but then it took me a second or two to realize he did level it up correctly, but he had just done it late. So much better than the other thing of leveling up the wrong ability like rekindle.
Okay, so of the myriad disasters available to Meldon there, that was the least disastrous disaster possible. So basically all that he lost is the time watching the cutscene. and instead he'll now just be able to walk through it. So, you know, the tiny little bit of silver lining when he comes back here, the slow zone of glitching it out won't be there anymore, so he can just run straight through. So he can at least recoup a second or two later on. Oh, poor Meldon, though, taking a shot from the fireball there. This is a really tricky area to time, and he's he's getting infinited by it right now. Fortunately, his safety save is right there, and the orb that's saved in a location where it was right next to him when he can pick it up. So each of these deaths not too costly, but when you do two of them, it starts to add up. You can see this distance between him and Lucy is starting to widen up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Like Lucy's, as he has a little bit more issues.
Very lucky that he didn't eat a laser there, though. I was almost sure he was dead when I saw him miss that. So it's, once again, the least disastrous disaster he could have in that situation.
Yeah, it's a lot of these like minor things that are happening instead of the bigger major stuff, but it still adds up over time. And Lucy already has about a 30-second lead, maybe even more against Meldon right now. So that's something we haven't really seen too often. Outside, more of the problems have been happening in the wall jump split if somebody takes a death, but we haven't actually seen too many deaths on the way to dash, or a lot of like piled up issues like Meldon is having right now. So, he jumped a little too early, so he missed the platform right there as well. So he dropped another 8 seconds for that cycle. Unfortunately, Lucy's almost got a minute lead at this point.
Yeah, Truck's saying it's 102 separating these two runners at this point. And don't worry, Trojan. I've had more than enough troubles in Blackroot in this tournament to make up for everybody else. If you want to see what it looks like getting infinite in the Blackroot area, just look at any of my race VODs. You'll probably see it. Sounds good. I'll make sure to note that down for me to watch later. I'll have a lot of free time on my hands. But yeah, so Lucy is now doing Frankie Walk. She does it normally. The only people that actually do the fast Frankie Walk variation are Hetfield and Hydra. I don't even believe Sigma has gone for it in the course of this tournament. I don't think he has. Yeah. I don't think he has in this tournament. He did in the hotfix when he was playing as Hetfield, but I don't think he has in this event. Yeah, well, I mean, come on. Hetfield's the world record holder. You got to pull out the big strats against Hetfield. Like, that makes a lot of sense. I don't even go for fast Frankie Walk in PB attempts, and I would be doing it if I was faced against Hetfield. Lucy's going for the Death Glide. Very nice, and gets it. She does do the version where she takes a hit, but it really doesn't matter there. As long as you get up on top of those brambles, it's perfectly fine. That cuts about 2 seconds. It is quite a bit more dangerous than just killing all the brambles, but man, does it give you style points. Yeah. Definitely. That's a really sweet trick. And now she's going to go for another sweet trick in the early grotto cycle right here. Let's see if she can get it. That setup looked pretty good, and she gets nice hop. Great job by Lucy right there. And I don't believe Meldon will be going for that trick, but we'll have to see. I don't know if he's been practicing it or not. It is a little finicky of a trick to get the setup. Pretty much it's just a manipulation of the load time for when those crushers start activating and such. So it's definitely a bit of a hard trick. And that makes Lucy's success rate in this tournament on the fast grotto cycle 75%, which, let me tell you, that's actually low for her. Like, when she's doing just runs, it's like she's a machine at it. She never misses. It's crazy. 100% agree. And to give you an idea of how good that actually is, the average for the players in this division when going for it is only 47%, and she's up at 75%. Yeah, and so Meldon, as you can see, is not going for that dash glide with the crusher, because again, that only saves 2 seconds. A lot of people like it are in the mid tier for PBs don't go for those like really optimized strats, or minor optimizations, I should say. It's very safe to do it the slightly slower route, because again, like one of the biggest things in Ori. Oh, he is going for it, and he gets it. Meldon gets it as well. Fantastic. That is awesome. Both runners actually getting the God cycle, and okay, he's good. He's just gonna take another damage on the way out here, I would guess. Oh no, he's just gonna take a spider shot then. That's really good work by these runners. A little bit earlier, Lucy did a trick, might not have even noticed that she got it so quickly, called Grotto Skip, where it's basically a very, very precise wall jump to allow us to sequence break a bit. She got it on the second try, but she does a setup for it that's a very fast attempt at it. Oh, Meldon, please! Oh, what a dodge by Meldon! Wow, beautiful adaptation there. that was almost certain death for him, and he managed to realize the mistake he'd made, get out of the way of that frog. He bailed out to the left and then went under it and on the jump. Let me tell you, a lot of runners in that situation, when the dash glide fails, just immediately high-five that Frankie all the way to death.
Dude, that Frankie came with a full-blown metal chair, and Meldon was able to avoid it and actually bring his own chair and say, no, dude, I win this one.
Fantastic work. So he is on his way back out now. He'll get a chance to try his own grotto skip. Lucy, though, is just like killing it on this split, and I definitely expected to see that. Like I said, Lucy's an early game monster, and one of the things that she does that separates her a bit, you can see when she jumps off the wall, Ori's doing all these little spin flips and stuff. That's not just cosmetic. She's doing a thing called ninja jumps, where it's actually a very difficult technique where on every single jump, she's letting her inputs go neutral and then jumping off the wall and then re-jumping back into the wall again very quickly. It's a technique that is quite physically challenging and only saves about a frame or two per jump, but she's quite good at it, so it's definitely powering her through this split quite well.
Yeah, definitely. And Meldon had a little bit of issue with grotto skip himself. He got it 5th try. So that definitely was above his average for the tournaments. But really good movement by Meldon up the shaft right here, going to help save Gumo. But unfortunately, we're just going by Gumo. We'll see you later on at some point during this this run. And now Lucy is going through Ginso now, the vertically oriented first dungeon of the game. And we'll see if she implements a couple other minor optimizations. She does not opt to go for the telehop strat, which is substantially faster. But she did go for that dash glide. That does save 1 extra cycle of those Geemers right there. So that is definitely a good strat to go for. And she's on a really sick pace right now. I think she might be even really close to PB pace at this point. I don't know if the guys in the truck have her PB to kind of go off of, but
they
this
sure
is really
do.
sick pace.
So in her PB, her enter Jinso door was 12:15. She's only 4 seconds off of that, despite her PB being 3 HP and her on 4 right now. Now, taking the 4th health cell cost 8 seconds, so to be only 4 behind her PB when she started 8 seconds behind from the very beginning means she's on incredible pace right now.
She might have actually gold split at that last split, if that's the case. Or she has something that has a gold split at this point.
I would not be surprised.
Unfortunately, she's having a little bit of issue with the spawn locations with this mini-boss. Again, this is pretty much the biggest RNG point in the whole run. These guys can spawn at 5 different locations, and it's really tough to see, get your eyes trained to see where there's a little spark that'll tell you one frame thing that tells you where that guy's going to be going next. And so that's a little bit slow. I think it was a 7 cycle, if I saw that correctly, but not too bad considering her already pace in this run.
All right, Meldon has come to the door himself. He's getting a 14-13 Intergen, so I'm not too familiar with his PB to know exactly where he is relative to his pace. I have to guess that given the deaths, he's probably off of it right now. Truck is saying he's about 40 seconds behind his PB. Now, the nice part about... Okay, so Meldon actually just got some help from that slime there. He was about to fall straight back down, it looked like. I don't think he had enough momentum, but that slime shot kind of sniped him out of the air and pushed him further left to let him get over to that block again. That was pretty cool. Oh, okay. He's having a little bit of trouble with the second gamer room here. Okay, recovers nicely. He is on his way further up without any big disasters.
You know, Meldon's been actually adapting really nicely to a lot of these like weird like cycle issues and other you know, issues. If he messes up his movement a little bit, he's been actually doing a really great job like after the dash split in fixing his stuff.
Yeah, I completely agree. I definitely think this is a big strength of Meldon's. There's if you have seen the end of any of the recent races, there's kind of like a little highlight reel. Oh, Lucy! Okay, I'll finish my thought in just a moment, but Lucy, unfortunately, did not quite get into position with the intentional death to get her key dupe off, so she has to redo this room again. So what I was saying about Meldon is he seems pretty good at adaptation. There's kind of like a highlight reel at the end of a lot of these races, and one of them has a really spectacular clip of Meldon getting himself into trouble and doing a fantastic charge dash to get him out of it. So, you know, thinking on the fly definitely seems to be a strength of his.
Yeah, definitely. I always love watching that outro video. There's some really sick like clips from the whole tournament, and it's so hype every single time I watch it. It was like great job by Richard to make something like that for the bracket stages.
Oh, absolutely. I want to give a quick shout out to all of the audio visual tech guys for this. It's primarily Richard, but he's definitely had some help as well. And they have just knocked it out of the park for this. Like all these overlays look amazing. The intro and outro videos, the music, just all of it, just absolutely 10 out of 10 production, I think.
Definitely. And Lucy is now coming up to core skip right now. Despite her death, she's still really nice controller double bash right there by Lucy on the spider shot, which, by the way, guys, like one of the things that KBM users do actually have a lot more ease with than controller is that you can actually set up a bind so that the scroll wheel can be used to give you a little easier double bash. But on controller, you have to pretty much mash it.
She's having some trouble with core skip here. That is twice that she's made that mistake. Instead of using the fireball to break the door, she's killing the frog with it. And she needs to break that door with the fireball in order to get her path to the core open and then use the frog, his experience, to level her up inside the room. So each individual reattempt isn't horrendously costly. It's, less than 20 seconds, but when you do it twice, that's starting to be a problem. So I'm guessing she's definitely off PB pace now. There's no way that wasn't too costly to keep her in green splits.
Yeah, each failed core skip is about 20-ish seconds. If you fail it right at the end, so that definitely hurts when you have to when you fail to break the wall right there.
Yeah, and
Meldon
she's
is
playing.
Sorry.
No, go right ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that Meldon is starting to get to key dupes. So he has caught up a little bit of time despite his early issues. Lucy's given him a little bit of opportunities with about 3 20-second time losses approximately. So I would say Meldon is definitely still within striking distance in this race.
Yeah, given some of his early mistakes, this is a lot closer than I expected them to be. Lucy is playing this run quite aggressively. A lot of people, when they're in a race, they try to play a little safer, back off just a bit. But you can tell Lucy's been on grind mode very hard lately because she's not taking time to aim a lot of her bashes. She's just trying to do everything as fast as possible, like she is when she's going for those really low 32 times. So it's definitely cost her a little bit. But if she can tighten it up and then keep this level of speed to her play in the late game, we'll definitely see some amazing work out of her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And she's coming up to Stomp right now, which is pretty much the point where you would say you're like halfway through. Oh, and has a little bit of problems with the movement right there. She goes for this really tight window jump right here where she doesn't jump on the top. And so if you do actually accidentally jump too early, you'll actually won't be able to get enough height for that. She still goes for the damage boost though, and she is good to go right there. So right now, Meldon's only about a Ginso-scape and a bit extra away. He's that's about I would say a minute and 30 seconds. Oh, and unfortunately gets hit by the Frankie right there, killing his movement as he was trying to bash glide out of that room right there. So lost a little bit of time there, unfortunately.
Oh, man, this Frankie is just trying to ruin Meldon's day. All right, so coming up shortly, Lucy will be getting to the Kuro cutscene skip, and then shortly after that, we'll see it from Meldon as well. It's one of the most difficult execution portions of the run. It's a very, very tiny window where you can buffer a bash to get through and skip a 17-second cutscene. And both of these runners in the tournament specifically have historically had a lot of trouble with it. But in fact, between the 6 attempts the two of them have made for it, the only one that has had any success with it is Lucy has gotten it once. The other 5 attempts have all been failures. So hopefully that's not weighing on their minds when they come up here, because 17 seconds is a lot in this game. And yeah, it's not only 17 seconds, but it's also sort of a little bit of mental damage, because they're headed into one of the toughest parts of the run in Sorrow Pass. And if a failure on Kuro cutscene skip is still weighing on the back of their head, that's going to be very costly.
Yeah, definitely. And Lucy did end up getting it, but just kind of to show you how hard of a trick this is and how finicky it is. It's got a 58% success rate for people in this division. And if you looked at Grotto's cycle, that was 47%. So really not that much different between the two tricks. And just because it is pretty much like almost a 1 pixel window, it's very, very tight. And Meldon is coming up to stomp himself as Lucy is just getting Charge Flame and is not going to do the long save anywhere, is going to take a little bit extra time to drop the save up top and then dash glide over that Spirit Well. We don't have time to watch that tutorial map section at the Spirit Tree.
And Meldon stomps a little early, though, eats some spikes. Fortunately, the stomp right there.
Dude, that looked really delicious. That looked like a lunch and dinner course of spikes right there. That was pretty brutal.
Based on the amount of times I've eaten spikes, they must be delicious. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, and also like one of the things that we switch off with between all the runners is we have to test to make sure the spikes are still there. And, you never know when you're going to have to, test the spikes right there. That doesn't normally happen right there at those spikes. But Meldon was we appreciate his service to the spike testing team.
Absolutely. This game is only as good because of its QA team. All right. So Meldon had a little bit of trouble with his fast stompless, did get through it, though. Now, Lucy, on the other hand, on your left-hand screen, is going for a trick called fast stompless. This is something that she's had some trouble with in the past. And I think definitely some of it has to do with the fact she's on controller. Aiming that bash for that fireball there, it needs to be very precise, and it's a little bit easier when you can use a mouse pointer. She does get it, though. Very nice. Good job.
Yeah. That was very, very nice from Lucy. That was a really quick setup too with the bash angle. It's like she was like a sniper, just like honing in right there at the perfect angle. That was really, really clean from Lucy. Let's see if Meldon can get her cutscene skip. He also gets it. So both runners in this race got Kuro cutscene skip. Fantastic job to both of them on that. And they have both gotten God Cycle. Let's see if they can both. As Meldon has a little bit of issue, he's trying to drop a save right there, and he's going to end up dropping a safety save.
Good safety save. Very nice.
He was going for your setup, actually, with the stomp cancel right there.
Well, I can't take credit for it. I stole it from Sigma, but it's a really cool little stomp stall in the air to allow you to use that fireball to get back out. Now, Lucy on your left-hand screen is going for Sorrow Bash. This is a trick that she definitely historically has some trouble with in her PVs. It's pretty tough to get these birds in position, especially on controller. Okay, there's a death from her, so she has to use this frog to get back into position for it again. When I said earlier that Valley was Meldon's chance to get back in this race, this is where I'm talking about. This trick can definitely stonewall you a little bit, especially if Lucy starts to get frustrated. So if she can, okay, that bird's not quite in the right position. She's resetting it. If she gets a couple of deaths here and gets frustrated and starts to make more mistakes, this could be Meldon's window. Okay, this is
what
fine.
A save!
What a save! That was fantastic.
Wow. That was like max range charge dash right there. She is out of energy though right now, so she's gonna have to do a slightly different setup, and she's not gonna be able to do the rocket jump going up to Sunstone. But really doesn't matter. It helped her get that on first try Sorrow Bash. That is really sick by Lucy right there.
And if nothing else, you just generated an awesome clip. That was an amazing save. It may not have looked like much if you're not familiar with the game, but with that accidental dash to the left, I'm quite confident that every single Ori runner watching this knew she was dead, because trying to save that is borderline impossible. Really, really good work from her to bring that back. Yep. Now, Meldon is headed into Valley himself. Oh, it takes a really bad death there, though. The problem with Valley is that you need all of your energy pretty much, and it's not just for saves, it's for rocket jumps, and it's for putting down some saves to actually not for safety, but for leveling up abilities. So you don't have much of a leeway to use your energy on anything else. So if you take a death like Meldon did, you go all the way back to the game's last autosave, which is way back at the Spirit Tree there. And he is unfortunately paying the price for that. So that window of Sorrow Bash that Lucy opened a bit, Meldon couldn't quite capitalize on there, and the distance between them is probably only wider now, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Meldon actually just took more damage right there on the frog. So I'm wondering if he'll drop a save right here. Yes, he will. He's going to regenerate a little bit of his health. The spikes still kill him, but the birds will not. So let's see if he gets it. Oh,
high value save there.
I thought he was at 3 HP right there. I guess I was completely wrong.
Now, Lucy is making very short work of Sorrow Pass here. She's going through an area we affectionately call the noob spikes, and it's definitely an ironic name because it's so easy to die there, but she's flying through it right now. Is that charge jump, and we'll now be heading on to my personal favorite area of the game, Misty Woods. When she gets in there, definitely keep an eye on her because you're going to see some unbelievable movement tech.
Yeah.
Now, Meldon is going for his fast stompless over here. Let's see if he got it. And unfortunately missed the shot. He did get the cell.
Oh, good God, Meldon.
He just took a trip to the all-you-can-eat spike buffet and said, you know what, I'm on a diet. I don't actually need that right now, but he definitely was thinking about it.
Man, that is, I think, the closest you can possibly get to those spikes without actually eating them. That stomp right there is really nervy because it's completely blind. You sometimes forget exactly where those spikes are in position with everything else. But Meldon did a great job of actually avoiding it. And Lucy, as you can see, is just blazing through Misty Woods, right? The first half of Misty Woods with some really sick charge dash, bash canceling, couple rocket jumps here and there. And definitely one of the cleaner splits she has had. I would say it's on par with what she did earlier in the Ginso split. Hopefully I don't jinx it. Please don't die.
Well, I'm sure it's been cursed now. Although I'm sure Lucy is feeling quite confident. Like I mentioned earlier, she goes for 3 HP in her PB attempts. And the difference between 3 and 4 HP, it primarily comes into play in this area, Misty Woods, because all those spikes you see do 3 damage. So, of course, if you're at 4, that means you can hit them twice instead of once. And because she's used to playing this area where everything is a one-hit kill, and right now she's getting to play with a little bit of extra safety, I'm sure she's feeling, as invincible as you possibly can in a race situation like this.
Yeah, and I don't believe Lucy is watching this right now. I know Meldon is because he asked me for research earlier, but I don't know. I doubt that she's watching it just based on like her just general movement. She really hasn't stopped going for the big stuff. So I doubt she's playing off of the fact that she has a lead right now. Meldon is opting to take a safety save right here to do the stomp cancel strat through that laser because, again, lasers in this game are completely optional, and we don't have time to figure out how to clear those. Oh,
this is a little scary. Okay, he's opting to go and rekindle and die so that he can get the frog back with full health, looks like. I am definitely a fan of that. That's probably a pretty good idea. It makes this juggle quite a bit easier. If the frog has been damaged, then you have to worry about all of these bashes being optimal. Otherwise, the frog will not have enough health to get up. He does take an unfortunate death, but over on the left-hand side, you can see Lucy just got an absolutely amazing quick kill on the Misty mini-boss strat we call Boom Boom Boom, which is the second fastest possible one, although the first fastest possible one requires kind of some pretty stupid execution that not many people go for. So, good on her to get through that. That was a really stellar Misty Woods out of her.
Yeah, definitely. And she's going to head back to Sunken Glades to re-enter BRB and get the final skill of the game, Light Grenade, which is the most useful skill in the game. And I hope that she actually uses it at some point at the end of this this run as well. As Meldon is just coming up to the Sunstone cutscene himself. So again, huge lead right now. It looks like Lucy has got this completely into the bag. So it's just a matter of her finishing out the run at this point.
Well, don't catch chickens before they hatch. She has gotten a literal 14th try door warp in this tournament before. So, crazy stuff could happen. You never know. But it is getting pretty far out of reach at this point. I mean, she's more than an entire area ahead at this point. So it's starting to get pretty unfathomable for this race to be lost by Lucy. But we're not trying to say Meldon is doing bad at all. He was definitely expected to come in quite a bit behind here just based on their difference in PB levels. Oh no, Meldon doesn't get the save down for the ghost door. So the death was intentional, but he needed to put a save down ahead of time. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite go off. He's back up the Sunstone. He is making pretty quick movement on his way back, though, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But, you know, definitely indicative of maybe some nerves or just tournament jitters that it would be nice for him to be able to shake off and have a nice clean end to the run. Lucy takes a death and light grenade over there, though. She's trying to get the movement out of here very cleanly and maybe rushed it a little bit. Looks like she got popped by the Baneling there.
Yeah, actually, she was rushed because the Baneling was coming after her and tried to dash early, but the laser actually hit her. So, yeah, that Baneling, sometimes it respawns, sometimes it aggroes, sometimes it doesn't, and you just kind of have to adjust to the cycle. Oh, no. But she did a safety save right there, and really high value. So good job on Lucy right there to not get completely bouldered.
Meldon went over to the cell and then didn't actually grab it. Okay, never mind. He's going to get this experience instead. I think he maybe forgot which experience route he was taking and tried to go over and get the cell and then remembered he's not supposed to. So grabbing that cell that he went over towards is a little bit of an older route. And instead, what players have been doing is going to get that experience that he picked up right afterwards instead and leveling up off of the Misty mini-boss to get an energy refill. I was a little concerned that maybe he just thought he got the cell and accidentally missed it, which would have caused very, very big problems for him later on.
Yeah, definitely. He is starting. He had a little bit of problems at the start in there. He was going for an extra energy, but in the process, he took like 3 extra damage. So I believe he's at 1 HP right now. So he made another safety save right there. Very, very smart. This movement at the end right here is actually pretty terrifying because you're doing a lot of really quick charge dash bashes and catch. Sorry, I want to just stop for a second. Lucy got first try door orb right there.
Fantastic work for her. That's definitely going to bring her average down. She previously had a first try, a 14th try, and a 3rd try. So another first is going to be really good for her average. It's definitely going to help her time here too. She's looking to probably get like a high 34, low 35 kind of finish time, depending on how her escape goes here. Which in a race, you know, high 34, low 35, very respectable time. That's quite good.
Yeah, definitely. As Lucy is now going through the final escape of the game, and there's some couple of these rooms have really cool movement, just like that one with the charge dash bash cancels between those lanterns. That is really tense movement. She makes it look easy, but boy, is it not easy at all. And she is opting not to go for fish strats. I don't believe she ever goes for it. So she's coming up here and she's going to finish with, it looks like, a 34-47, I believe, if I saw correctly. So GG
somewhere in
to
that
Lucy.
range, yeah. Yep, very nice race.
Great run by her. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that not going for fish strats on controller is not really a bad decision because fish strats are only faster if you get the double bash off on the fish at the start, and controller is very difficult to do a double bash on. It requires an actual 1-frame input. Oh, Meldon gets himself into some trouble there.
He's all the way back there. Damn.
Yeah, it could have been even more costly if he hadn't dropped that save. He would have gone all the way back to the climb tree. Fortunately, he dropped 1, so it mitigates some of the damage. But still, that is, make no mistake about it, that's definitely a painful death to take.
Mm-hmm. And Lucy, as Meldon's still hitting some spikes on the way over there, hopefully he'll be able to get through Misty without any more unfortunate deaths. Let's see if he decides to drop a safety save right there, and he is now going to be. Ooh, good thing he caught that stomp right there, else he would have been going straight down into spikes, as he did not have an air dash. He's going to go for the rocket jump right here. Very nice setup by Meldon, and that rocket jump is a lot harder than it looks because. Normally you would want an enemy directly vertically above you in order to get proper height and stuff, but since that wall bro right there is kind of off at an angle, you have to wait for him to spawn and you have to be in a very specific kind of location. And he actually gets a quick bang pow. Beautiful bang bang pow from Meldon right there. So definitely making up for some of his mistakes earlier on in that split. And you can tell he's super happy dashing back and forth right there after the boss.
Yeah, I mean, you remember I said earlier that Meldon likes to bust stuff out that we haven't seen from him before in tournament. That's definitely an example right there. I was not at all expecting him to go for that particular quick kill strat. That was so cool.
Yeah, definitely. And Lucy did get an official time of 34:47. So congrats to her. She will be moving on to the round of 16 officially, and will be going up against the winner of Terra and Snowflame. And so that'll be interesting to see what comes with that. Lucy is definitely pegged as one of the outside favorites outside of the general favorites of Hydra, Sigma, and Headfield. To win the tournaments, one of those three. But she's definitely a sleeper. She can pull out a good run when she needs to. And we'll have to see how that translates into the round of 16 and possibly even further beyond in this tournament.
Yeah, completely agree. I think it's going to be her match versus presumably Terra is going to be incredible. Ooh, Meldon takes a death on that laser, though. It's a little bit tough to make that cycle without very clean movement on the way down. So let's see if he's going to go for it again. His movement's looking pretty good so far. All right, he should be through there with that unless he makes a mistake. Yeah, he's fine now.
Definitely, and he's coming up to Light Grenade right now, and he's going to hop over this cutscene, or he's going to actually, never mind, he's going to slide into the cutscene, and he got it off in time. All you have to do in order to skip a cutscene is be stopped, which starts the trigger, but before the fade happens right there, the fade to black, that would start the cutscene. Because if you do it after that, you'll actually be forced to watch the whole rest of it. Otherwise, you have to do like blind movements, and no one wants to do that.
Are you speaking from experience?
No. Yes.
There's the answer I was looking for. Well, we've all done it at least once. Don't worry. All right, so Meldon on his way out, if he can get some quick movement through here, he can go for a very nice rocket jump on the way out. Looks like he is. Nice. He doesn't. Oh, okay, so he hesitated a little bit at the top there. If he had done an instant air dash through there and charge dashed out, he could have gotten, skipped that cycle. Unfortunately, he hesitated a little bit on the dash and got caught by that laser, so he's going to get another shot at it here.
As the Baneling was trying to troll him right there. Let's see if he goes for it. He does.
Oh!
Yeah, so unfortunately, if you don't get the ramp right there, you pretty much have to hold feather all the way so that the laser doesn't hit you and you wait a cycle, or you go down there and then quickly charge jump. Either one of those works. So he opts not to do it this time around and does the slower climb strat.
There's actually an interesting third option for that laser, believe it or not. If you get down to the ground, all you have to do is crouch. That laser actually doesn't go all the way to the ground, so unless you're right next to this place where it shoots, you can just crouch under that entire laser and be completely safe.
I totally forgot about that, but yes, that is definitely a very viable strat as well. I think it's pretty much the whole left-hand side is completely broken as far as that's concerned.
Oh, and, yeah, like everything.
Go to the ground.
Everything that doesn't involve Ori being like within about one of her own body lengths from the right-hand side where it shoots from, she's completely safe if she crouches there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. As Meldon is doing the final big movement of the game over to Mount Horu to go try his hand at Door Warp. And how many tries do you think Meldon's going to get? Is he going to get first try just like Lucy did?
If I know anything, it's that when your run is dead, you get first try Door Warp. So I'm going to go with first try.
I completely 100% agree with you, so I'm going to go with first try as well. It's literally impossible, and then it's free when you don't need it.
Absolutely. So previous attempts in his first race, Meldon took 3 tries, and the other 2 races he took 1 try. So he's on a pretty hot streak on Door Warp right here. So let's see if he can take that momentum, maybe some of that practice he's been doing, and show us a good first try Door Warp here. So he's going to wait for the autosave, exit out and reload. There's one specific frame loading back in he's going to try and hit up on. Oh, okay. He's making us both look wrong. All right, that was a warm-up one. That didn't count. This is still first try if he gets it here. Okay, he needed 2 warm-ups. This is fine. Come on, Meldon. Take our energy. Everyone in chat, give him your energy.
Come on, Meldon. You got this, bro. And he gets a 5th try.
Obviously, four tries of warm up. That doesn't matter. So first try Door Warp from Meldon. Great job. We were both right on our prediction.
Yeah, definitely.
And, yeah, now he's having a little bit of trouble getting up to the warmth element to get the final escape started. But now he does get it going. Do you happen to know if he goes for fish strats or not?
I think he doesn't. I don't think he has usually, but I've got to figure that he probably knows that Lucy is finished, so he may just try and go for it for the sake of the good old fish strats, but we'll have to see. We'll notice, you can tell by how much energy he wastes on the way out there. He's used 2 so far, so he's got 3 more to use. And we'll see if he is able to do it. Oh!
Doesn't quite make it ahead of that lava wall. So the truck is saying that Meldon went for fish strats in his last 2 races. He missed it once and got it in the other one. So I have to assume he's probably going to go for it here if he's done it his last 2 times.
Yeah, definitely. So he is getting a second shot at that room. He gets it properly, and he is going to go to the latter part of the escape. And let's see if he ends up doing the good old fish strats. And it looks like, yes,
That's a fish strats. All right. Very nice. You know what? He knows that he's out, but he's still going for it anyway. I really like somebody being willing to just finish out their run strong no matter what. And he does get his fish strats off. Very nice. He's holding right. He's probably going to get about a 42.50 or 48 or so, somewhere in that range. And, you know, traditionally in the Ori community, despite the fact that fish strat saves 2 seconds, we like to say it saves 7 hours. So that does make Meldon the official winner of this race. Lucy got a 34, and Meldon got a negative 6 hours and 20 minutes. So congratulations to Meldon.
Definitely. It's actually 6 hours and about 17 minutes, sir.
You know what?
Don't round.
You know, well mathed. Congratulations. I actually learned a lot about numbers, including prime numbers and real and imaginary numbers in my last commentary with Staffu. So, you know, this has been a very educational tournament for me.
Dude, you didn't know, but just joining the Ori community would actually help you go back to high school math. It's actually
Fantastic.
Really sweet. Yeah.
You know, on that note, anybody who's watching this that is not already part of our Ori community, if you like what you see, please, please, please get in contact with any of the runners, any of the streamers, get into our Discord. This is an unbelievably welcoming community. We've gotten a ton of new runners lately who have nothing but great things to say about it. You'll meet some fantastic and unbelievably talented people. There's great resources for learning this run. Even though it does look difficult, we have good videos to break things down and help you learn how to get into it. So I highly, highly encourage anybody who has liked watching these runs to give it a shot, even if you haven't done speed runs before. I mean, this was my first ever speed run, and it's, you know, it's a good bit of work, but it's absolutely worth it in the end.
Yeah, definitely. And even if you aren't like, even if you don't want to do the speedrunning aspect of it, even if you just outside like platformers, just like very like solid, like responsive gameplay, Ori is a great casual play. Most people take about 8 to 10 hours to play through it the first time, and then they'll usually want to go for 100% after they finish. And it's just a great casual play. A lot of the movement tech in this run is very rewarding. And again, extremely responsive. So, but anyway, enough of that. Meldon finished officially with the 42.50, so GG to him. That was actually, if I saw correctly from his stats before, it's kind of around his average. I think it's a bit behind it, but maybe like a minute behind his average. It's not too far off of that. So GG to him, and congratulations again to Lucy with that 34.49 to win and go to the round of 16 to face the winner of Terra and Snowflame. And so I believe that's going to do it for us tonight as far as races. Ruse, would you like to set up some of the ones that we're going to be having soon, TM?
Yes, absolutely. So in the next 2 days, we are going to be on absolute Ori overload. Friday, tomorrow, we have 3 races. The first one is going to be Red Rum versus Grimelios at 4 p.m. EDT. And then at 6 and 7 EDT, we're going to have Elogimini versus Chirafel, and then J Hobbs versus Icex. All of those races are going to be very exciting. There's some great runners. You're going to see some cool stuff. And then on Saturday, I can't even name them all. We have, I think, 7 runs, 5 of which are back-to-back. And they're all going to be here on the Speed Gaming channel. So if you like watching Ori, this is a fantastic weekend for you. We're going to have 7 in a row on Saturday and then 1 more on Sunday even. So just absolute, like I said, Ori speedrunning overload. You're going to get more than you can possibly handle.
Yeah, definitely. And just kind of want to shine a little bit of light on the first race tomorrow that's happening between Red Rum and Grimelios. This is the 16th versus 17th seeds, the closest we have had of the regular round of 32. They were literally tied coming out, as far as average time was concerned. They were literally tied coming out of the group stage. And I am so excited for that race because I have no freaking idea what is going to happen at all in that race, and it should be a great watch.
Yeah, that race is like one of the biggest toss-ups imaginable. They're both old school runners from way back in vanilla that kind of took a long break and have been de-rusting lately. So, and their PBs are incredibly close. So whichever one of them happens to show up with a better day that day is going to walk away with the victory. So I expect to see some back and forth lead changes, some spaghetti that's going to be exciting, some good old school play. It's going to be exciting, I think.
Yeah, and I just kind of pick your brain, Roos, because I didn't. You were doing commentary with Stefu yesterday, and I asked Stefu the same question. What are your matches you are excited about on the big Saturday coming up with the 7 races?
The big Saturday coming up. Okay, so I think just in terms of it going to be an exciting race, I think the one I'm looking at the most is probably going to be Mr. Randomson versus Brynhold. That one is a fairly close one, but then that's going to be an interesting one. And then later on that night, though, is definitely the main event. It's a little bit after that main block, and you're going to see Monkley versus Cheese Lover. That is without a doubt like going to be one of the highlights of the round of 32. They're both really, really, really close on PBs. Monkley is, I think last I checked, Monkley was slightly ahead, but so the truck is updating and saying Cheese is only 9 seconds off Monkley's PB. So they're extremely close, but Cheese has been playing more regularly than Monkley has lately. So I know Monkley has been focused a little bit on Dust Force and needs to de-rust his Ori a little bit. So that's going to be like a really close clash between these two. And I think that if you're only going to watch one race this weekend, that's probably the one to tune in on. That's going to be at 10 p.m. EDT on Saturday.
Yeah, we're going to have to see when he dusts off the old Ori and comes back into the speed run, the life with that. But yeah, I highly agree with you. The main event is Cheese Lover versus Monkley as far as like what we can expect. Another one I forgot to mention yesterday, I think that Raziel Rufus is a good one. Because Raziel's already gotten upset one time, and Rufus has a pretty good PV. So I don't know what's going to happen there. I doubt Raziel's going to fail Fish Strats 3 times to lose a race. But,
it wouldn't be the first time.
It wouldn't be the first time. However, that's an interesting one that, just like I mentioned with like J-Hobbs having a rough run one time, Raziel had the same thing happen. So that's another interesting race as well.
Yeah. Rufus versus Raz, Brynhold versus Random, Cheese Lover versus Monkley, definitely ones to watch. But every single one of those races is going to have something really cool to offer. So I'll be watching every single one without a doubt. I'd highly recommend you guys do as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I believe that is going to be it for us tonight. Ruse, thank you very much for doing commentary with me tonight. It was an absolute blast.
I completely agree. We need to do more commentary together, man. This was fun.
Yeah, definitely. And to you guys out there in chat, I hope you all have a fantastic night. Enjoy the lovely outro video that we'll be transitioning into, and we will see you tomorrow for more Ori and the Blind Forest races. Have a great night.
Going to kill it far, far away from this door where he actually needs to level up. And then he's going to dash to the door, the XP chasing him. He gets the energy, he opens the door, and that is amazing.
Exactly. I think it's probably one of the most stupid threats that we have.
Oh, goodness, Monkley with the dodge. That was...
I like floating laser turret, which you can imagine what that is. But yeah, I think they didn't mean for anybody to ever see these. Oh, did you just see what Rufus did in that key?
I have never seen that. Is that faster?
Is that faster?
And it's very rewarding as well.
Oh no!
He makes it! Wow.
Oh my god,
That was so close to only.
for the 5th energy, so it's going to put a temporary gap in between them. But it's going to... Oh my gosh!
What a nice adaptation to save it.
Races, and you watch someone who doesn't get the rocket jump up towards Sunstone, you might see them.
Whoa! He actually knocked that frog into the wall. Look, he thought he was completely done for, but
He said, I just don't want to die, because if you don't save and you die here, it's real bad. So he's going to be taking a save on this.
Oh, wow. So Trojan got the shot. His shot looked extremely high, but he got it, and that's going to practically level this race right now.
Yeah, as you can see, they're now in the same cutscene, and Terra has to go up to the Spirit Well.
That's really where you're supposed to need all this wind without using the wind. He also went for a ridiculously risky trick there, where he skipped through that.
spent like 4 minutes in door. Oh, Meldon, can he make it back to Leighton? What a beautiful charge dash from Meldon to save himself. That was absolutely insane. And yes, please take that safety step.
All he has to do here is get to the end of the game. That's his only target, whereas Cheese is on his way to Misty Woods. He's going to be going to Wow!
Oh, Raziel, no! Oh my god, Raziel, no!
I can't believe
Oh my god.
Think about that. So, just little things like that. Strategy getting to, oh goodness. Oh, the laser! Oh god!
Oh man.
Coming out of
Meldon, first miss for Meldon, second miss for Ruben, third attempt, Ruben misses on the third attempt, Meldon misses on the second attempt. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Ruben, 4th attempt, misses. Meldon gets it on the 3rd attempt, and he takes the lead for the first
Ruben
time.
got it!
But Ruben gets it as well. I'm losing my mind here because they're actually come down execution on the final escape.
Dropping falling trees and boulders, and the whole time Kuro, the main villain, is chasing you, and you have to escape. Wait. Oh no, he bonks unfortunately. Oh my god.
Oh my god,
This is so close to time. It's a really swag strat that only saves 2 seconds and has the potential to lose you over a minute.
He's going for it again.
He's going for it again. The absolute madman.
My guy.
Here we go. Oh no! Brindle's in the lead! Guys, okay, let's see if Brindle goes for fish strats. If he just plays it safe, he has this in the bag. He can't lose from here. He's not doing fish strats. Brindle's got this.